G'day. I thought this Anzac Day would be an appropriate time to show you a very valuable book that I acquired some 20 years ago from a garage sale, or a yard sale as some of you may know it as. And it's a commemorative book about Vietnam. I'll take you through the book. Feel free to pause wherever you want to have a proper read, because clearly I can't show you every page for a number of seconds or else it would take 2 hours. But let's have a look through this book and I'll explain it as I go along. So let's take a look inside this book called War Vietnam, a practical record of the forces in Southeast Asia. So, a little bit of history. I do not know who that was, unfortunately. It was signed on the 3rd of the 3rd, 1971. And this here, I actually had the guy I bought the book from sign that. I regret that I don't remember his name or his position, but he was an Australian. So there you have the forward. Again, pause these if you want to have a proper look. You have all the introductions there. I won't read them out. You have the forward about the Vietnam War. And a map where the men were located at the time of the publishing, which was, forgive me for 1 second, what does it say? So I'm not sure exactly when that was, unfortunately. Oops, skipped a view there. There's the insignia, the Free World Military Forces insignia. There, of course, is Lyndon B. Johnson. Skipped another few. Always careful with these books, I get nervous touching them. General Westmoreland, Lieutenant General Jonathan O. Seaman, different commanders. I must skip one again, no. Symbols. Saigon, which I really enjoyed when I have been there. Of course now it's called Ho Chi Minh City, but at the time it hadn't yet been taken over, so it was still Saigon. So there's some pictures of what was happening at the time. American Embassy, I've been there. You'll find some of these in my past videos on my trip to Vietnam. Yeah, it's changed a lot. Yeah, it changed a lot now, present day, but a lot of the old buildings are still there. Now, this is about the US Army, which makes me think more of this was issued to the US military. But again, comment if you know more about this, because honestly it's been so long I can't remember what the guy told me, even though we had a long chat at the time. There's a airlift, C-130 Hercules. US Navy. There we go, F4, Phantom. Predecessor to probably the, I don't know, I won't say. I was going to say Chinook, but obviously it's not. There we go. North Vietnam Bridge. Of course, B-52s from Strategic Air Command. I actually have a jacket from there. I'll put a little cutaway here of that jacket that I bought on eBay a number of years ago. But just a commemorative item that I treasure as well. So yes, as I look through these more, I'm sure this would have been a US military publication for US, but perhaps they shared it with the Allies, which were us, the Australians, and New Zealanders. Another one of my books that I treasure, I have a number of them. If you ever want to see them, comment down below and I'll gradually dig them out. It's quite a thick book. It's a good centimetre or almost an inch thick. Landing craft. Yeah, it's such a waste of human lives, wars, but I'm not going to be political in this. The point is that people did what they did, and for doing that we thank them for their service. So again, just pause if you want a proper read. There's no way I could do this under like 2 hours to pause, so just thought of mainly I'd share this book with you because I do not know, I haven't looked up how many are still in circulation, for want of a better word. Japan, yeah, its interaction there, or I thought it would be an R&R place, but Thailand as well. Yeah, I've been there. No, I haven't. That's Tokyo. That's Thailand. I've been there. I've flown over Japan, in fact Hiroshima, but I don't think that counts as landing there. Hong Kong, definitely been there. Back when it was an independent city, which I won't go into that, but that's tragic how good old China took that back. Saigon. A lot of these monuments and statues are still there, which is a good thing, although the city has changed vastly. Modernised, of course, page 60. So it digresses fairly much, but so does life in general. By the way, my neck's breaking off here, I'm looking sideways to the book. Yeah. Lamson Square in Saigon. Well, that is vastly changed, I can tell you, because there's now millions of motorbikes and cars that go around all these roundabouts, which if you've ever seen my video, you'll know. It's like, whoa, lots. Anyway, I'll whiz through these because there's a lot of pages. I don't want to take 10 hours doing this video for you. Hopefully you can see that without too much glare. Thank you for your time watching this too. It's good to have books like this and other keepsakes. So it's a really thorough book. I mean, it would have really, I suppose, been helpful to the servicemen at the time, perhaps, or at least past the time, when they weren't doing more horrible things they had to do. So yeah, it would have taken quite a long time to publish this. There's one of the bridges blown up. Yeah, where sad was. Yes, I never go into the US Marines. I don't know if there was an equivalent book published for just Australian and New Zealanders. Please do comment if you're an experienced person that knows about this as we go into the US Navy. There's the backstory of Vietnam, which of course there's probably thousands of videos about that, if not more. Anyway, this is quite a well kept book. It was in good condition when I bought it off the guy, and I've kept it in good condition as well, as you can probably tell. US Air Force again. I've always been an aviation buff, so if you're like me, you'll like seeing these pictures. F-105 Thunder Chiefs. There we go. And a KC-135 jet tanker. We're now to page 103. So I probably didn't think this through. This is a massive book. Most of you would have left by now anyway. But yeah, there's some nice photos there. Okay. Right. I guess they'd be the dogs that, well, they did all sorts of things. Those dogs do. He was a sentry dog. As in Century, S-E-N-T-R-Y, not 100-year-old dog. Which is how many years it'll take to straighten my back after bending over here for this film. That looks like a Catalina to me. Let me look. Well, maybe not. I should probably read this on my own time. We'll get back to that one. KC-130. Yeah, so definitely would pass the time if you weren't actually on patrol or anything, I guess, to read the whole book, which they may or may not have done. I guess if you got so much time on your hands, if you had time on your hands. Okay, there we have a map. What's that of? That's Navy base of part of Guam, so it gets way into like a tangent of places as well. Thought of going to Guam on a holiday once, then we realised that, well, I think they do some golfing there, but basically not much else, so we didn't go there. To go to Hawaii, and I remember driving into the gateway of Hickam Air Force Base and being told politely to turn around because I'd gone the wrong way, which of course I did, given that I didn't want to be shot. Yeah. So here we go, a bit of R&R, rest and recreation, or relaxation is another term I've heard for it. Boy, this is a big book, isn't it? Vietnam. I enjoyed Vietnam. I highly recommend it if you want to go on tour there. Now we're back to Japan for some reason. I've never read this book through myself. I'm not about to do it while you guys watch me read it. Back to the US Marines. Okay, so this is a mega long book. There's the controls of the helicopter. Quite interesting, but very, very long. So, and probably my battery will fail before I finish the book at this rate. Hopefully not. Yeah. So there's a lot of pictorial records there. I was being an ex-pro photographer. I always loved the idea that photographs can capture life and it's basically permanent, even though things always change, such as photographs of ourselves, most of us anyway, who accept the fact that we do age. Yeah, so if you're interested in this book, as I said, freeze frame, take your time to read it. Hopefully I have the focus pretty correct for you so you can pause or whatever you need to do. Oh. Okay, well there's some different bases there in Vietnam. Vietnam, by the way, the Vietnamese, well, let's say, the Westerners always spell it as one word, but in Vietnam I noticed, F-Troop, in Vietnam I noticed they spell it V-I-E-T and then a space, N-A-M. So who are we to challenge that? I tend to spell it their way now that I'm educated on that. Yeah, there's a runway. Oh, such a mind-blowing amount of things they had to deal with. Back to Thailand. Okay, there's a map. South Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, Burma. I've been across into the border there. China, North Vietnam, Malaysia is down here. All Southeast Asia. Probably I've seen a lot of these buildings that are still standing. Right, so we're up to page 170 now, so I should have warned you this is a very big book. You may notice I'm starting to flick through the pages a bit quicker. Okay. Let me go, some more soldiers on active service. Back to Hong Kong. Seems a little disjointed to me, unless it's part of a flowing story, but the Buddhists. Alright. Okay. Alrighty, so I can feel the book is slightly getting thinner. People of villages. Perhaps I shouldn't have made this video. Certainly not so long. Talking about the Allies. So maybe this is where Australia was mentioned. And there we go, New Zealand. There we go. Maybe I should have just come straight to this one. Relevant to our country. Anyway. If you are watching this on Anzac Day, which stands for Australia New Zealand Army Corps, that's the reason I put it up on Anzac Day. I love those. There's a few of those in the my Vietnam video, or videos. Now we've gone back to the US Navy. The Philippines. The Philippines, as I understood it, was, or the PI, was where they went for R&R, amongst other places, but no doubt there are other reasons too. Oh, there we go. There's some refueling there. You can check out my other Anzac and Vietnam videos if you want. They'll be in various stages of listed or unlisted, depending on how we go with YouTube and reapplying for monetization, because of course I'm currently not receiving a cent from anyone. Singapore. So you see the troop movements really did go across many different countries. Singapore's a nice place to visit too. I thought it was a bit too humid when I first went there. But never mind, it's a very clean city. A huge fine. Last time I was there I think it was $10,000 for littering, so hence why it was pretty clean and tidy. So this is a massive book, if you can't tell, to the two of you that are still watching. The struggle for power that divided a nation. Okay, so I'm not a huge reader. The point is, it's just, I find these things quite interesting. There's some different countries and areas for you. Sorry if I'm blocking a shot there and turning this on. Oh, there we go. Welcome to the Australian Surgical Unit, I guess. Another map there. Alright, coming to the end of the book. Skimming through rather quickly. I'm amazed this battery hasn't died. Entertaining the troops. Well, this book was probably part of it. Cold Joy and Little Paddy, I think. No? Bob Hope. My apologies. I'm looking sideways. Bob Hope. Of course, a number of people went over there, and in fact in all or most wars, to entertain troops. Quite a huge list. Captured from the VC or Viet Cong. It's funny, you know, when you go to Vietnam and go into one of the museums, it refers to Westerners as the enemy, which of course we were to them. But it's funny because as opposed to Western museums, they talk about certain countries being our enemy at the time. So it's all to do with perspective, I guess. The Allies turned the tide, there we go. We are the tide turners. Currently I'm the page turner. Right. They look like Aussies to me, yes. Royal Australian Regiment, 5th Battalion, just like in the song. I was only 19. Wore a walk in the light green. Finally, the final page. So there we have it. War Vietnam, a pictorial record of the forces in Southeast Asia. Well, that was the commemorative edition of this Vietnam War book. Please do comment below if you know whether servicemen from just the USA or Australia, New Zealand as well, were given this book, and whether it was given to every serviceman or perhaps just officers. Thank you for watching, lest we forget.